There are many simple things in the world. Shovels. They are all different. Gardening shovel. Unloading shovel. Children's shovel. But there is also a different shovel. We use it when we come to the position. In short time, it helps us dig a trench which saves us from bullets. If a tank will pass over the trench, there is a high probability that it will not cause any harm to the soldier. We dig in the ground, deeper, and then connect the trenches with our friends to the left. In just a few hours, trenches are all connected. When we do not have an axe, we can use a shovel to cut a loaf of bread. A soldier uses a shovel as a paddle, crossing the wide river under enemy fire. If we run out of ammunition, we will use a shovel again, and then we'll move on. And when we get the order to stop, we'll take a shovel again and build around us an impregnable fortress. This fortress is defended by the Army of Ukraine, our army.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy, had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar, a straight-up omelet bar. And now look. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
Yeah, you said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
From the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence, this 13, Monday the 13th, not like Friday the 13th, this is Monday the 13th, March 2023, in the year of the dumpster fire. Ooh, Lord. Ooh, I'm feeling the dumpster. West Side, that's right, yo. Can I throw gang signs up? Will I get in trouble? Who knows? Anyways, WTF Nation Radio, U.S. Army WTF Moments. The Monday edition with myself, Ice. And in the gunner seat, I got the Shipwreck. Yo.
Monday, sure?
It's Monday. Oh, man, Monday. Man. Anywho. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out tonight. We have a guest tonight, Carl Whalen from Back to Heroes Rumble. He's going to be discussing Operation Open Arms. Carl has been here so many freaking times, I might as well just get him a slot and see if he's going to be hanging out here for a minute. That dude is like always in our stuff. Hey, wanting to know. He's pitching a good cause. Back to Heroes Rumble. If you've not heard any of our broadcasts with Carl on, then you could say, I think Carl is I was a trusted friend of the station. I mean, got good causes, and I'm also Carl is listening to us right now, and I'm going to make an announcement that he doesn't know. U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio are going to sponsor a hole at the little golf thing they got going on. So you'll be seeing if you go golfing. You'll go up to the hole, and then you'll get about ready to thing. Next thing you know, you see a little sign that says, "This hole is sponsored by U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio." So yeah, everyone's doing the Carl jokes. Come on, Carl. Not that Carl.
I hope there's a lot of selfies with that sign.
Yeah, I want everybody to see that. So he doesn't know about this, so he's probably like going, "What the hell? Did you guys know about this already?" So yes, we're happy to announce that we will be sponsoring a hole. We'll get to that part in a minute, but we also want to talk about the great cause that he's doing right now with Operation Open Arms. The 19th hole. Yeah, is it the 19th hole? I don't know. I had to see what it is. What kind of hole we're talking about. Not that hole. We're talking about golf. We're not talking about that. Anywho, so I just wanted to knock that admin stuff out of the way. So tonight, once Carl comes on and we're talking at the end of the interview, I'm going to cut the stream because the little guy isn't feeling too well. So I kind of want to make sure he's doing okay. Just making sure he's, I got to do dad stuff. So if, the show's going to go normal, Carl's going to come on. We're going to shoot the breeze. But when Carl leaves, I'm leaving too. So that way I can go do dad things with Baby Ice. So that's the club in the house. Oh, that's the clubhouse. Yeah, the 19th hole is the clubhouse. I thought you were talking about another hole there, Pooks. I don't know what kind of the cornhole. No, not. At any rate,
we're not in Florida.
Yeah, we're not in Florida, dude. Speaking of Florida, did you see that story? That's kind of like a Florida man story going on right now, but it's happening in Ohio, in Pickaway County. Did you hear about this shit?
No, I have not.
Dude,
indulge me, man.
Dude, a zebra freaking bit some dude's arm off before being put down. And I'm gonna tell you what. Stop wrecking trains over there in Ohio, because I think it has everything and anything to do with the contamination in East Palestine. And okay, I'm just joking around, but I don't know. That's how some of these crazy zombie movies start, right? They kind of have that I don't know, that some what was that?
Walking Dead.
Yeah, kind of like some freaking people are running around and all that stuff. And now zebras are biting people's arms off. Maybe that's the zombie apocalypse that we've been waiting for, but it was the wrong one. You know what I mean? Everyone's thinking that the dead will rise from the graves and stuff like that. I have a feeling that maybe zebras
thing sounds like a kangaroo story.
Kangaroos.
Don't get me.
Dude. There's somebody I saw a meme that all kangaroos are deer that went to prison. That's what a freaking. Yeah, I don't trust no animal that's on a pack of gum that loses its flavor as soon as you chew it. It ain't natural. Yeah, dude. So a man was taken to the hospital after a zebra attacked him in Pickaway County. And of course, this is not normal standard stuff we talk on on the Monday edition, but the incident report from Pickaway County, deputies were sent around 5:30 p.m. to a fenced-in field and reports that a man was seriously injured. And when the deputies arrived, they saw the victim lying on the ground with his right arm covered with a sleeve. According to the incident report and dispatch logs, the victim had his arm bitten off by a zebra. Bro.
That must have been wombat zebra.
That's
a whole arm off.
Yeah, dude. I mean, dude, how do you? I mean, zebras are assholes, man. They're mean. So they're busy fighting off, predators and stuff on the tundra out in Africa. What's up, Musa? So yeah, dude, it's just like, woo, man. You gotta watch out for them zebras. Maybe they should. Maybe they should check the samples of the soil and air around the area to make sure that they freaking, It's a good bar story. I know. Could you imagine showing up with your arm gone and shit? Do you like animals? I heard you don't. Hey, I heard you heard you don't like zoos. No, I don't, man. What happened? You're looking all lumpy and shit. I shouldn't say that, man. Hope the guy's doing well. The victim of the zebra attack, and the zebra was put down, dude. That's the crazy part.
Wow. So, what would you rather get bit by, a zebra or a shark?
A zebra.
For those cool stories.
So a zebra. A shark. I'm sorry, man. You're, the teeth of a shark go through your skin like butter, man. It's not a. Yeah, I would rather have.
But wouldn't be less painful, in and out quicker than a zebra with flat teeth you attack?
I don't know, man. Depends. I mean, some trauma. I've talked to some friends that, you know, you get that curious question when you. I got a couple friends that have lost limbs, and I asked them, hey, what did it feel like? Did you feel anything? And some of them say, yeah, it just doesn't feel, you know, like whatever. Zebra, bring on the zebra steaks. Exactly that. So, I didn't want to like detract from the story, but holy crap, dude, that's nuts, man. I just could. It was payback for Harambe. You want to
about biting off a limb?
Yeah, exactly. You want to challenge me to a backgammon game? Oof. Let me tell you something. My freaking headphones are digging in my head. Anyways, I've never played backgammon before. No.
You never played that?
Never played backgammon before. Nope. Never. Now the only I've never played backgammon before. I've played chess, you know, I played checkers, you know, chess with the kids or something like that or whatever. But yeah.
Everyone's played checkers.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's a kid's game or Chinese checkers or something like that. Can you say Chinese checkers now? Somebody get the ass with that one too. They use the backgammon is a real sport. They use a shuttlecock. Are you talking? No, backgammon. Wait, are you talking? Oh, wait, I thought, what game is that? That's a numbers game. Wait, backgammon. Wait, is that backgammon is the tennis racket thingy and stuff like that? Is that what it is?
No, it's a board with.
Yeah, it's a board game. That's right there. Yeah, you're talking about badminton. Wait a minute. Badminton, sports bar. You're the freaking sports bar, and you know the difference between backgammon and badminton? Why you gotta be like that, man? So, anywho, hey, did you, speaking of news of that sports bar, hey, you guys hear about Kareem selling his championship rings, his MVP awards, and like $2.8 million worth of memorabilia to charity? That's what I'm talking about. You go Kareem, but I'm a Kareem fan. I'm an old school Lakers fan, so yeah, you'll teach me. There you go. Yeah, teach you, man, with some smokes and some chai. That'll work. There we go. Get that water pipe going. I'm just saying, you know. But anyhow, so what were we talking about? Oh yeah, so that was that one story out of the out of Ohio. Man, Ohioans can't catch a break. If it isn't freaking trains derailing, if it's not their water, being flammable, the rivers with dead fish, it's freaking zebras attacking people. You challenge me to dominoes? Yeah, dominoes is fun. I can play dominoes. This is fun. Yeah, exactly that, sports bar. You messed that one up. The economy's hard. Carl's already in the chats. If you guys see him in the chats on Facebook and on YouTube, you'll see him shooting the breeze with all the fans. You can go. He actually burned 3 chats, so you might see Carl jumping from the U.S. Army WTF Moments one, the Facebook one, or the YouTube one. He's all over the place right now. Exactly that, Josh. I just want to know what he did to piss off the zebra. Did he show up in a lion costume or something like that? Did he? I shouldn't be, dude. I shouldn't be. That's fucked up, man. That's like. I mean, I know the veteran community.
Identify yourself as a lion at the time.
I could just imagine you're just out there freaking. Could you imagine being the first responder showing up to that and then having to freaking, dude, you got what? Who bit you? And then you see freaking, you see that zebra run around in that corner and freaking, and then coming at you, and then grabs your hand and bites your arm off. There you go.
Well, maybe they put the zebra down to get the zebra off the individual.
Oh, that's another one too. And Pip says he was protecting the females in its group. Not familiar with the story. I'm just reading some of the headlines and a little bit of the details of what happened to this poor guy that got his arm bit off by a zebra. Dude, yeah, that sucks. So, anyways, let's roll on. So, maybe it's on Live Leaks. Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Yeah, exactly that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar there, Musa. Exactly that. Kareem. So what's going on with the banks? Did you guys hear anything about banks lately? Is this something that I think Cause is going to cover this as well for Friday Night Freedom? But because I guess there's some bank drama going on. There's some. It looks like there's some. I don't know. We need to have our. Do you need to pull money out?
Financial advisors calling.
Yeah. Do we need to have financial advisors come on WTF Nation Radio to say, don't pull out your money? I know everybody's saying don't pull out your money for what's going on with SVP, Silicon Valley Bank, and yeah, everyone's saying I got my funds in limbo. That's the same thing. I was looking through my funds. I'm like, do I got any freaking money in here? I don't know. Okay, do I or do I not? Whatever. Check this out. So,
as long as you're under the 250,000, you're good.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, that's another thing too. That's another good point that you've seen in the chat. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you don't diversify your bonds with Wu-Tang Investments, then you're definitely going to be, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody should be. Let's put it this way: for the FDIC, anytime you deposit your money into the bank, the FDIC covers insurance up to cash in your the bank for up to $250,000. Anything past that, you're kind of on your own. So there you go.
Have more than one account. So,
yeah, exactly. Have more one more. I'm not trying to talk about how to escape from from the.
I'm not either. Protection is protection. You got to use protection in life.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on for a sec. Uh-oh. What's going on? Uh-oh. Am I having a CQ issue? No, I'm not.
Ooh.
Remember how CQ, how he's freaking, how his stuff went out like real quick and it went like dead and it went blacked out and stuff like that and he was having some issues. Can you guys hear me?
That was operator error.
Yeah, it was operator. I don't know. See, that's the thing. Well, see, that's the thing. Restream platforms that we use Restream.io for our platform. It's not proprietary. Everybody uses it. And it's pretty reliable. It's been pretty reliable. So I don't know what's going on. My web's good. Everything's good. I don't see anything going on. I don't see any marks on there. So, anyways, what I was going to say? Yeah, so everyone's talking about, hey, look, I am not a financial advisor. All I know is that you pay your bills and that's it. If anything else, #cancel farm debt. I'd rather see farmers get bailed out than freaking banks get bailed out. I'd rather see farmers get bailed out or having subsidies than having freaking some individuals who the majority of the shareholders or the majority of the holdings within SVB has been like the small eco freaking green businesses. So I personally coming from my upbringing, cancel farm debt. That's just me.
Totally agree.
So. What's up, Johnny?
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's just I really don't freaking feel that here's what I'm saying. Those green companies, the green investment, the climate, I'll say it, the climate mafia, the climate cabal. Because right now, like Greta Thunberg, she had to delete a tweet back in the day because she said within 5 years, which is like now, we're all gonna like freaking die of a climate disaster and yada yada. So. That's why that's again. It's just like I'm not saying that climate change isn't real when it comes to meteorological conditions. Our own planet, how it reacts to stuff like that. Like there's a video out there, I think in Java, where a volcano just exploded and just like that you can't control that. You can tell the Earth to stop releasing carbon emissions. Can't do it. The power of nature is unreal. So. Anyways, I believe in like some of the conservation efforts. Like when you go camping, just do the simple things in life. Like when you go camping, don't tear up the shit. Don't leave your trash. Police your area, clean up your mess. Do I recycle instead? A lot of people are gonna be surprised when I hear it. They're gonna hear this. I kind of do. I kind of like I like separate my stuff, and I always. I don't want to say my little ones guilt me into this. It's like, Dad, you got to save the planet. So make sure. Okay, so there you go.
You recycle. Great on you, man.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of extra work to do.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just breaking down boxes, milk cartons, plastic bottles. I put it in the recycle bin. Yada yada. Now all I'm going to do is somebody send us in. Somebody told me that that's a racket too. That now, because of recycling companies are not what it used to be. When I was a kid, I used to collect, me and my hometown friends when I was growing up, we used to get aluminum cans. And we used to get, bags of them. We used to ride our BMX bikes to the recycling center to get like $5 for crushed cans. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's the stuff that I miss. So it's like the climate change that is climate change within its own. How do I say it? I mean, I'm not a scientist in all this, but I know that there's an earth effect to this. In other words, it's the earth doing it. It's like the meteorological conditions, all this. And I think that everybody loved the fact that we didn't do shit during the lockdowns and pandemics. During the pandemic. I shouldn't say pandemic, but so for instance, remember when everybody was locked down, nobody could fucking drive. Essential workers were essential work. Nobody gave a shit about essential workers until it became a political issue. But you used to see, exactly that. Bam, Josiah. That's kind of thing too. I mean, my little ones are kind of tactical in that method. Don't let anybody know you were here. Brush out footprints. Make sure you cover the cables on your Claymore before you go Claymore. But you see those pictures? There was pictures during the pandemic of cities that had never seen their mountains before or never seen a skyline before in their area. And so I think that also caused the climate in itself. Like I said, not all this man-made bullshit with the it's kind of is man-made, I guess you'd say. But you notice everything got clearer. The weather looked like it was kind of like restabilizing. But then once we were not locked down, then all of a sudden there was just shifts in a lot of the climate. Again, I'm not a meteorologist. I'm not a weather enthusiast. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh yeah, well, I'm not. All I know is that
it's your opinionated facts of observation.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's just a non-opinionated facts of a non-opinion observation. What was that? Non-opinionated observation. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's all I did. That's all I checked out. It's just like, hey, that's all I see. That's all I can observe. Like right now, there's certain states right now that are currently snowing. California has had their drought has gone away and now are dealing with unreal freaking torrential rain and snow. There's individuals that were like stuck in Lake Tahoe because there was feet of snow that snowed on them and they couldn't get out. So, see, there you go, Pookie. You're gonna ruin it for me. You're gonna show me a video, right? I know you. You're gonna show me a vid that's gonna have some scam of how recycling is, and the next thing you know, I'm just gonna say, forget it. I'm gonna start dumping oil on the freaking, I'm not gonna use dry sweep anymore or whatever. You know what I mean?
What I don't like about recycling in my area, I don't know about other areas where you can recycle cardboard, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a business, you can recycle cardboard all you want, but you have to pay to keep a dumpster to recycle your own cardboard. So you're paying a company to keep a unit there so you can recycle cardboard.
Interesting, because some places don't. Some places, if you ask for it and you participate it, they'll actually give you a discount for some of your
No. Where I'm at, it's a special bin for recycling. You have to pay to have it there like a regular dumpster.
Right.
Then they take your goods and they go recycle it, and they make money off the recycling part. So they make money from you, and then they make money on the recycling.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But some companies, some waste companies will not charge you for the bin, and they'll discount your bill. They'll knock off like a recycling. It's like a recycling discount or a recycling bonus or some shit like that. I mean, I'm different places that I've been to. One of them has. It's not like in Germany. If in Germany if you're in Germany and you don't recycle, you must pay a fine. Dude, and you have recycling. You have people that are so freaking nosy that get in your shit in Germany that they see you dumping a fucking cardboard box in a glass thing or receptacle, or you just dump trash. If you don't separate your trash in Germany, man, your neighbors are fucking rats. They'll rat you out. I mean,
recycling police.
Und ja. Und zwar you're not recycling. That was my first experience when I dumped something in the wrong trash can, and I had some neighbor come down the freaking stairs, and you hear them stomping around, and they get right up to me, and they go, and they look at me, and I look at them, and then they just pointed at me, and pointed at the trash bag, and then pointed at the bin, and they go, 9. I'm like, oh, okay. Where's this go? And yeah, trash Nazis. exactly that. So yeah, it's pretty funny. Oh, what's this question? 9. Littering is unacceptable. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, exactly. It pretty much was like that. 9. I'm like, excuse me. And then like, what are you trying to say? And like, do you speak English? And I don't get me, and that's another thing too. I speak German, so sometimes when Germans were walking up to me and they were asking, they were trying to get, not really get in my face, but trying to correct me. I said, "Do you speak English?" And that way I could, So, here's a good one. U.S. Army WTF moments. What are your takes on the current unfoldings of events happening over China and Russia's tag team to maybe do world domination? We expected it. One thing we called it. There's a lot of individuals that said it wasn't going to happen, but I think it's fucked up. I think it's a serious threat that Ivan and Jinping, Winnie the Pooh, is freaking getting the ass. Don't forget, Taiwan is a country, so I need to update the tags on the fucking post, because every time we do that, I had an ambassador going after me, trying to shit post on me and stuff, because I told that individual that Taiwan is a country, and then I got blocked. So I don't know why. And what about all the effects of all that? What was that? Or about all effects that are going to Ukraine's aid? I feel personally that we should be supporting them. Equipment and stuff like that. Yes. Fuck yeah. Munitions and arms and stuff like that. Did you know we had equipment from the Cold War, pre-positioned stocks, in the event that a scenario like this was going to get, heated up? So I have no problem with.
But didn't that stock get outdated where it wasn't stable no more or something?
To consider outdated for us is because we're always looking for the new thing. That's our problem. Right. So if you have a 2019 M1 Abrams tank, and everyone's driving around in 2023 Abrams tanks, and then everyone's getting pissed off because you have 2023 Abrams tanks. The 2019 Abrams tank is just as good as the 2023 tank.
Right, that's the hardware, but I'm talking about the explosive parts. Isn't there a shelf life on stuff that go?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Yeah, there's some stocks I think can be stabilized. I'm not much of a munitions expert when it comes to that.
I'm just blind on the History Channel, though.
Oh, the History Channel. Well, you
people find all over the world, and people.
Well, that's another thing too.
Stable and end up getting in a bad situation.
Well, yeah, it's depending on depending on the grade of the explosive. They'll, like Musa said right there, they oxidize. So like dynamite, you'll see crystal. If you see a pack of dynamite, and you see like orangey, like yellow crystals forming around it, that means it's like freaking. It's an unstable form of explosive, which means any jarring, touching, tapping, an electrical charge could set it off. So that's why you don't. That's why you got to be careful. But, yeah, exactly. But we've had bombs and missiles and stuff like that. Specific materials and the makeup of the explosives are pretty shelf stable to use. You know what I mean? And also, we rotate so much out, man. It's like, with training, with supporting any other mission aside from what we see in in Iraq and Afghanistan. Well, not Afghanistan anymore. So, I heard in 2005 we put an old W2. Yeah, exactly. Now we have, so the M2, the 50 caliber machine gun, there's an A2 version now, which doesn't require headspace and timing. All you got to do is screw on the barrel, do a little couple clicks here and there, and then there you go. And it's good, and it's set. It's got a preset headspace and timing. But the older ones where you had to have the headspace and timing tool, where you used to make fun of people for, hey, this is for operator headspace and timing. That's what it means. So that's really the thing when it comes to that. Again, going back to the question that was asked of me, yes, I think we should support Ukraine in that aspect. Now, I'm going to say a big, huge now on this. I support Ukraine in its mission and against the invasion, in its defense, its own home defense, against the invasion of Russia with equipment and gear. But where I draw the line is where we have our own economy, or we have our own country having to fucking default or having to have bailouts because of it. Now, I don't know if any support, and I'm going to say this again, I don't know if any of the support to Ukraine are involved in any of these bank collapse. I'm not even speculating that. But what I'm saying, though, is that because we have that issue going on, we have our infrastructure that's fucked up with all the train derailments, with the way you see it. I'm going to tell you what, you drive in some states, you might as well just get a hoopty with a lifted suspension, because the roads are so fucking bad that it's unreal. The same thing. I
don't like to drive over the bridges.
Well, yeah, or the bridges. Yeah, exactly that. So honestly, when it comes to sound, I kind of draw the line there. And I do, and there's some diehards out there that get pretty pissed off. Now I know, look, We support Ukraine. I keep saying it again. We support Ukraine. Fuck Ivan. This is the war that I think if we didn't have GWOT going on, this probably would have been that time to do it. And so that's what pisses me off about the whole thing. But not at the expense of the American people and all that. So, and there's a lot of diehards that get mad when I say that, when they say, oh, you're a traitor. I'm like, how can I be a fucking traitor to my own country when I want to make sure that our country's good to go too? It's like you know, Joe's eat first, your family eat first, and all sorts of stuff. And then what do you have left over in our society? I have no issue being, you know, we're one of the largest fucking donor countries on the planet anyways. We donate more and we help more efforts. Our Congress, our politicians don't look like they're doing it, but we do provide a lot of support for other countries, especially the ones that are in like no shit need. Like there's so many, like to me, we're missing the boat while we're seeing that. We're going to have to fight that. I think we need to, there's nothing wrong with reinvesting in our country to fucking, to support ourselves. So that way we could be stronger in supporting Ukraine when the shit happens.
I don't mind supporting Ukraine. What I have a problem, military-wise, and giving them equipment is giving them money for well-being for their people versus military aid. I don't like giving them the money for that.
Yeah, I think. Well, that's another thing. That's another thing too. Is like, somebody put some great comments in the chats right now. By the way, is that I think it's absurd that the U.S. puts so much care into others around the world, but we can't really fix our own problems here at home. Exactly that. You ever drive down the road and it just hit me, and I was, you ever had those thoughts while you're driving, or you just have retrospect? Hell, even shower thoughts. I call them shower thoughts, where you're in the shower or you're having a beer or whatever. You're sitting in the sauna, and all of a sudden this epiphany hits, and you're like, what? And then you start doing some research, and you find out, yeah, that is connected. Let me talk about homeless veterans. Did you know, leaders? Because we are U.S. Army WTF moments. Did you know that if you don't allow your soldiers to hit SFL TAP, or don't let them do the programs to set them up for success when they're getting out, you are partially responsible for the veteran homeless problem? I'll say it. You are partially responsible for the veteran homeless issues if you are stopping a soldier from doing SFL TAP to get them a leg up when they fucking leave. There's a lot of organizations right now currently that are rotating in Europe in support of the deterrence in Ukraine, for Ukraine, that are literally fucking soldiers over, because we're not declared war, we're not declaring it, we're just posturing, nothing's gonna fucking happen, but we're acting like this is GWOT all over again. And that's what I think when you're saying about taking care of the well-being of other people, other countries, is that we're GWOT tired. The global war on terror is what the GWOT is, or GWOT, what other people call it. I say GWOT. I've heard it GWOT the first time and it just stuck. So I think that the nation building that we were talking about for the GWOT that we were so tired of, that's why the American society and our veteran community, specifically our veteran community that just finished doing this 20-year freaking infinity war, that we're tired of fucking nation building in Afghanistan and Iraq, and now all of a sudden you're talking about doing the same shit that you said we shouldn't have done. It's almost like we're doing hey, don't worry, we'll get it right next time. We'll get it right next time. You know what I mean? No, we're tired of this shit. So I don't blame anybody to sit there. I don't get mad at anybody. They're like, ICE, you support Ukraine, but what do you feel about, giving money for this? I'm like, well, I don't believe in nation building. The one thing difference between Ukraine and Iraq and Afghanistan is that I'm seeing more dudes in Ukraine fighting than I saw in Iraq and Afghanistan. I didn't go to Afghanistan, but from what vignettes people told me, and my personal experience in Operation Iraqi Freedom, which the 20th year anniversary is coming up soon, is that, what is it with the dudes over in that area that didn't want to fucking fight? I served with some great Iraqis, specifically part of the ISOP, the Iraqi Special Operations Forces, and those dudes believe in the cause for their country. But I didn't understand when fucking ISIS started sweeping through that fucking region that guys were just lining up just to fucking get slaughtered. Like they let that shit fucking happen. So that's the difference between when I see the difference between Ukraine and Iraq and the Ukraine and the Middle East. Now, of course, I don't blame anybody for saying they don't want to support it. I don't blame anybody. I don't want to support that. And I was like, that's your prerogative. It's whatever. Me, I look at it because I was a child of the Cold War, Red Dawn, Rambo, yada, yada, yada. you know, you were grown up duck and cover. You were growing up being raised afraid of Ivan, the Red Scare that was happening. But yeah, and Musa, I was just about ready to say it is a complicated dynamic. It was a complicated dynamic when colonialism has redrawn the maps of several Middle Eastern countries without considering the regions and the individuals of the people, the regions of the individual groups that were there, Shia, Sunni, Kurds, in all that area. So I know exactly that, Musa. I was just about ready to say it's hard because it's fucked up. A2s and BDUs. I had an M4. I didn't have. Well, yeah, we started in BDUs. There were some areas where I was in BDUs and DCUs.
You didn't have the Tommy gun?
No, I didn't. The old Huey pilot that was flying us around. I'm just kidding. It was not a Huey pilot. Kurdistan is a country, exactly that. So it's hard. It's part of that beacon of freedom that I was telling you about. That a lot of countries. Now, mind you, now I'm a first generation American, so it's pretty fucking hard to sit when someone says, "Oh, my family saw this country as a beacon of hope and freedom." That's why I get pissed off when people post different versions of a flag, because that's not the flag that I remember seeing as the beacon of hope and freedom or opportunity, right? It's the U.S. So, yeah, I don't freak. Oh, shit. What was that? Was that you making noise?
Yeah, well, it was the Pentagon calling me.
Dude, tell the Pentagon to knock it off. We got guests tonight. But, at any rate, what was I saying? What threw me off there? There was like I had a flintlock. I did not have a flintlock. It was an old Sharps rifle. Get it right. I did not have any of that. But again, the whole thing is complicated as shit. But again, growing up, being a child of the Cold War and being a family of legit, of immigrants, I fucking, I see this country. My family saw this country as a beacon of hope and all that. But I also I defend it big time when those values of the country that my family saw as a beacon of hope and a big, an opportunity that we afford, that we can, if we can afford it, then we do it. That we help out, specifically when it's been a superpower that has been our adversary for decades, since post World War II. What was Gettysburg like? Really, dude?
Wow. I thought I went, oh, damn.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Why you gotta hate?
Where's
man?
your beard?
Why do I gotta? I don't want the audience to misunderstand me either. It's okay for you to say that you don't feel like you should be supporting them or not supporting them. I'm just looking at it from a different lens from my age because I'm old. It's nobody's fault. You can say whatever you want. That's the best part about it. I won't get mad at you if you don't feel it. If you don't feel that way, I won't. Because I've had friends that don't get mad at me when I say the same thing. And some of them we've come to terms that, okay, we just won't agree on that, but we'll agree on others. It's okay. I hate that term, we agree to disagree. No, there's no such thing. If I disagree with you on something, because if I disagree with you on something, it's a disagreement. That's it. If I disagree with that opinion, but agree with other opinions that you have, then that's it. That's the way it is. I don't feel like I have to bend my opinion or agree to something when I feel like that's not correct. You know what I mean? I agree with some individuals that when we say we support them with equipment. I agree with some individuals when they say we should send them some munitions. That's got that. I disagree when it comes to some of the other I disagree with the supporters of what I'm saying. That when I say about nation building, we're done with the nation building shit. I'm done with it. And so if I lost friends. I was going to play my Civil War music. Hang on.
I just don't like how they're giving them dinero. I'm all about giving them equipment and stuff like that.
True.
Give them actual physical.
Yeah, it's the nation building stuff. What raises my eyebrow, and this is what gave me the was when I heard about pensions. As soon as I heard pensions, then that's it. That's what James says. Stuck in a conversation with a homeless veteran in Seattle. Took him to gas station, bought him whatever he wanted, ordered him a pizza. Ended up talking about 3 hours. Let him talk about his struggles. Yeah, man. James, were you like driving behind me? Because that was the same experience that I had. You know, it's hard, and you don't know where they go. Like once you have a conversation with a homeless veteran, and then they walk away from you, you wonder where are they walking to, and it really kills me a lot when you see them with kids, when you see them with little ones. You know, you see them with a little girl, a little boy, and they're like, "Hey, I gotta go, I gotta get food, I gotta go, whatever." And you see them, it breaks my fucking heart. You know, you see that stuff, and you're just like, God dang, dude. You don't. There's nothing you can say. You know, there's nothing you can say. You just sit there and listen. But I will say this, that in the conversations that I've had with the veteran community, the homeless veteran community, that's exactly what they say. That I was not allowed to go to ACAP. That I was not allowed to provide these systems. That I'm not allowed to do any of this stuff to set me up. I tried to go home to get a job lined up, but my chain of command wouldn't let me go because they wanted me to go to NTC or JRTC. Or, you know, dude, it just breaks your heart, man. It's infuriating as shit. Hopefully it's not pallets of money like Obama did. Are you talking about the Iran bet? Yeah. How come we don't have anybody fighting with Iran to do that shit? You know. So veterans, I look at that aspect when it comes to sending money to Ukraine. That's my aspect of it. It's like, if we can afford it, fucking A, support them as much as we can. But if we can't afford it, and because we have systems and programs that need to be for our veterans, I'm telling you, man, I got a lot of shit back in the day when I first started doing Sergeant's Time and Monday Edition, when I used to say veterans before refugees, because those are our own induced refugees. A homeless veteran that had a chain of command that did not support their exit from military service, we made them our own refugee. I used to get shit a lot for saying that. I used to get hate mail, stuff like, how can you not support veterans, or how can you support refugees? No, I'm not a refugee. You know, stop it. My family, they're immigrated here to the U.S. So that just drives me up the wall. You know, I don't want to sit there, dude. It's how do I say that? I don't want to sit there and be preachy about it, is what I'm saying. But I really fucking think that we need to fucking have our veterans taken care of before anything fucking else. You know, we've had the PACT Act that was signed. That's awesome. But it took a Hollywood star like Jon Stewart to fucking advocate for it. We had a prominent member of the veteran community from Grunt Style. You know, so we had Grunt Style, and then we had, you know, Jon Stewart. They were the ones that were the big advocates for this. Everybody else who slapped this shit up on there and said, yeah, okay, veterans, blah, 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 we're good to go, are nothing but politicians that wanted you to vote for them and wanted you to fucking fundraise for them, but didn't want to do shit. Because when you try to talk to him as a veteran, like I said, Jon Stewart was able to do it, and, you know, Tim from fucking Grunt Style, they were the ones that were able to do it the most. I don't even want to look at the mortgage rates. What are they like right now? We need to do this. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I'm not seeing the better. You know, we need to do this better as we talk about be all you can be. Yes, sir. Good morning from Hong Kong. Well, hey, welcome. Thank you for joining us from Hong Kong. We had one from we had Singapore. What was it? Singapore last week, right? I think we had Singapore last week. So, yeah, I think that's that's it's a tough topic, man.
That's the truth.
Because if you talk about be all you can be, and here's the thing: if you're in some of the ones that are sold on the be all you can be, yeah, you know, the be all you can be from my time, it doesn't look like it's the be all you can be from my time, from your to this time. I'm saying the be all you can be of my time was I legit, you know, because there was programs inside to help me benefit, to get better as a person and as a soldier, to get educated and all that. There was opportunity. Like when someone was getting ready to leave, they fucking took off and they ETS or did their whatever stuff. They did their ACAP is what they called it. I saw it. I saw it as a joke. There was a time specific. I'm going to bring a vignette, a little story of one time I wanted to ETS from the Army, but I had a senior NCO pull me aside and ask me why I wanted to get out. And gave me that be all you can be pep talk. Now, if you tell somebody to be all you can be, and we post a lot of the reasons why you can't be on the main page, there's an issue. If you're not letting your soldiers, I will beat this horse, dude, until it wakes up and bites somebody's arm off. Too soon? Is it too soon? I will beat this horse, dude. If you are not letting your soldiers do what they need to do to get out, ACAP, SFL TAP, whatever you want to call it, Skill Bridge, all those different programs that are out there to set your soldier, future citizen soldier, whatever you want to call it, future veteran up for success, then you are the biggest contributor of the veteran homeless problem.
Ain't that the truth?
I remember when it was Army of One. Yeah. Army of One. Somebody told me this is an urban legend. I don't know if it's true or not. But somebody said that Army of One meant Army of One. One being officer, NCO, and enlisted. That's what I thought some urban legend out there. I don't know if it's true. I'll have to verify that. I'll have to do some fact checking. I'll have to do some WTF snoping to find out if that's true. Kids get more money in because, that's another thing too. I'm glad you brought that up. Who was that in the chat right there? Bam. Daniel, the best recruiting pitch we could have are the guys who did initial enlistment and contract that are now out and are successful. That's what I'm talking about. Show us what be all you can be will happen if you serve your country. That's the slogan we need to work at. I'm not saying that having Kang from Quantum Mania was a bad thing. That's great. I love that. He's Kang is he's the official spokesperson for the Army. I love that. That's awesome. I love those videos, immersive videos. The new Be All You Can Be campaign. I loved it. But then when you get out, or you're about ready to get out, let's show that. Let's show what happens when there's a soldier who wants to get out and wants to go to college, or gets a fellowship, or gets accepted to law school, and it's getting out of the service. Show that path. Because we do a great job. We do a real good job of trying to get kids in. But we do a crappy job once they want to leave.
Valid point.
There's Pat. What's up, Pat? How you doing, brother? Pat Smith from Task Force Dagger, who does the dives for veterans out in Saipan to recover missing POW individuals that are MIA. With Terry Shepard, Task Force Dagger. He's the chats. He said that a Green Beret PSYOPer that wrote First Earth Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Jim Shannon, is alleged to have come up with the "Be All You Can Be" slogan right after Vietnam. Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. So yeah, everyone was asking me if it was caffeinated or pseudo caffeinated. No, I'm sort of kind of caffeinated. I'm not drinking the mix, so I'm just drinking normal coffee. But it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating to see in the inbox how many times we see kids that don't know what to do, that are trying to juggle their return home back to civilian life, or they don't know what's going on and don't realize where they're ETSing because their chain of command won't let them do the right programs, how difficult it would be to be where they're at in high value. The biggest ones we see are Hawaii, where a lot of veterans can't come home because they get stuck in Hawaii because they're trying to get back, or they're not allowed to go and do their fucking transitioning program so that way they can fucking, set themselves up for success back where their home of record is at. Yeah, exactly.
In Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. Oh, was that the hippie character in Men Who Stare at Goats? That's right. I was about to say that name sounds familiar. The Men Who Stare at Goats is based on him. Did you know, since we're talking about some PSYOP soft history, did you know the writer for Forrest Gump was a PSYOP officer? Y'all getting PSYOP.
Shit.
Yeah, y'all getting PSYOP, man. Zip zap. Oh, man. What? Who's MOS? What MOS you talking to? Sam, who? Wait. I'm seeing MOS. You asking my MOS? I'm a retired PSYOP guy. And Shipwreck is a retired AFSOC guy, Special Operations Air Force dude. So That's our pedigree in this podcast. So.
Well, the whole station has a diverse pedigree.
Yeah, dude. We have a pretty big veteran. I mean, we got aviation avionics engineers. We have a retired Air Force boom operator for a KC-135. We have a combat infantryman, CQ. We got Nemo. I mean, dude, we got to run the game. We got Spanky. Believe it or not, Scampy's hard charger, man.
We've got enough to set up our own command.
Yeah, we do. We actually do have. Yeah, we actually do have enough to set up our own command.
About it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our own. We have our own freaking. We have
So
our
what
own.
DoD installation going to give us a building?
Yeah, I want to put it right. I want to put it right next to the biggest HQ that shit talks us the most. So I would say right across the street from the Pentagon, because there's a lot of shit talkers about us over there. Actually, the DIMOC, the Defense and Media Agency, anywhere where public affairs has their schoolhouse, I want to set up a WTF HQ right there because they're the biggest haters.
I would take money to watch that.
Yeah, we do have a Red Leg on staff. Red Leg, he's a member of our staff. He doesn't broadcast anymore, but he does a lot of the backbone work. So yeah, we have artillerists. Somebody said artillerist one time, and it sounds like artist. That's why I don't say artilleryman or artillerywoman anymore. Somebody said I'm an artillerist. I'm like, ooh, that sounds kind of
Well, they do make art on the battlefield.
Yeah, they do. They do some very explosive art on the battlefield. So, anywho. At any rate, so we're going to take a break right quick while we get set up for Carl to join us and shoot the breeze. We're going to take a 5-10 minute break, play some music, refill your glasses, smoke a cigarette, hit the head, smoke if you got them, go, run a couple laps, and we'll be right back and with our guest Carl Whalen from the Operation Open Arms discussion forum from Back to Heroes Rumble. Can't wait. It's going to be some good talk. And again, I hope you guys pay attention. Remember, like I said, we'll make the announcement. I'll make the announcement again later. So aside from that, y'all have a good break, and we'll be right back. Shots.
What is this Facebook Live? I've never heard of this shit.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Nothing feels the same. Left it all behind.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back. Last half of the Monday edition, but also the half of the guests. Joining me right now is Carl Whalen, repping, what's going on, man? Repping the Back the Heroes Rumble. What's going on, brother? How you been, man?
Oh, you know, what everybody's been going through right now. I think the weather going up and down has just been crazy for everybody.
Bro, you ain't lying, man. It's just like... I mean, we're just talking about right now how to go do a baby ice check right now because he's feeling under the weather, so I had to make sure he was good and wasn't tearing up the house. And man, it's just really weird this whole fluctuation of weather. I mean, you got to be careful, man, because people will say it might be Rona, it might be Rona.
And that's the funny thing. We've been getting tested too. I mean, February we got sick and went through the house, nothing, no COVID. It was just sinus infections, colds, whatever.
Yeah.
Then the second wave hit, and it hit me the hardest. Now my teens got it. Hopefully it stays away from everybody else because the little just got over everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the flu and strep A. It's like, God bless, what the hell?
Yeah.
One of my friends said I'm more sick than a Cambodian.
Damn, dude.
Oh my God, it's everybody around here, man.
How you guys faring with that? With all this stuff, real quick. I mean, on the East Palestine, did that affect your area?
Well, that's East Ohio, right on the border of Pennsylvania. We're down in Southwest Ohio.
Okay,
Cincinnati.
gotcha.
But it's believed that it could have trickled down the river. Now we hear multiple things. I've got friends that work in the water treatment plant. They didn't hear shit. They didn't get any info. They weren't even aware of what happened in East Palestine until I gave them the info.
Gotcha.
Now the command is giving them very little insight. They're just telling them, hey, test for this, and she didn't know why, and now she knows why. So there's a lot of hush-hush about it going on through the EPA in Ohio, and I'm sure we'll find out in the coming weeks what's really going on. But then we had another derailment up in Springfield.
Yeah.
Then there's one down in Alabama. Norfolk Southern screwed, man. They're in trouble.
And then you got zebras biting guys' arms off. What's up with that? Hey, buddy. Hey, bud. How you doing?
You want to say hi real quick?
you want to say hi to the WTF Nation kid? Hey.
Oh, now he's gonna be bashful.
Oh, about to say, yeah, exactly. Now I just want to say hi. That's why.
All right, go.
That's why I
Go
gotta
hang out with Bobby. Oh, you want to wave? You just want to wave?
Hey, bud, how you doing? We see you. I got to keep my door locked, or else I'll have mine walking in here and you know.
Yeah, I'm actually in the dining room that's connected to the great room in the house and the stairs, and so everybody can get to here.
Yeah.
He just wants to be where Daddy is.
I hear you. So nothing though. Nothing detected. Nothing. Everything's good in your area. Everything's so far so good.
Yeah, I've not had any like new issues, but believe me, I'll look if I smell anything funky or whatever. I'm usually going.
Exactly.
So anyway, I really appreciate you guys bringing us on tonight, because I definitely wanted to talk to you guys about some really interesting things that we're doing, but more importantly, why we do what we do.
Right, because I was about ready to ask you. There's going to be some fans that there's new people logging in right now. Like right now, we have people from Hong Kong, we have people from Singapore, we have people from the Philippines now just logging in. So can you tell us a little bit what Back to Heroes Rumble is all about?
So Back to Heroes Rumble is a 501c3 charity in Ohio in the United States. Our mission's a two-tiered part. One part is to honor the families of fallen police, fire, and military every year. We do that through our annual car show. And this good old guy, he loves car shows. He eats it up. And then all the money raised goes to the families. And this year was going to be the year of firefighter, and it still is, but the families we had chosen...
He's not. I think yeah.
So basically, the families were unavailable to join us, even though they wanted to accept the opportunity to come. Right. So we decided to choose a charity that services the same entities that we do for firefighters this year.
Gotcha.
And they're actually helping us tackle the cancer epidemic among firefighters, and I'll get into that statistically, but that's what our car show does. And then our other program, which is what we're here to talk about tonight, is Operation Open Arms, which is a directive to provide life-saving equipment needs to aid in preventable line of duty deaths in both police departments as well as fire departments.
So real quick, how, because now I'm curious, are Leos that short of equipment?
Always. There's never enough equipment out there to help preserve life.
Right.
Everybody sits there and talks about the militarization of the police. And I'm going to tell you right now, more often than not, except for those big cities, you're going to see, even then, a lot of them won't have some of the equipment we're providing. And that's for police officers. And then firefighters, budget, when they talk about for firefighters, the turnout gear, they're not focusing on upgrades. They're focusing on the status quo because that's what their budget allows for. And upgrading their Nomex hoods to the particulate hoods, the ones we go out to provide in our region, actually tackles the number one infiltration method for particulates that cause cancer among firefighters. So our program, Operation Open Arms, serves to tackle those underserved needs for first responders. When you think of law enforcement officers, you think, what kind of gear do they need that's not lethal? So you got body armor, you've got seat belts, you've got reflective vests for road safety, the whole mantra of slow down or get over, so you don't hit an officer who's helping somebody or conducting their duties for traffic safety.
Right.
And then you got tactical IFAKs, or what us in the military, you see in the picture there, individual first aid kits. But these first aid kits aren't just the status quo. They actually have, let me go down the line and tell you what's in one of them.
Oh, we got pictures of, hang on. I think we got a,
right there, that picture right there.
Yeah, hang on. There we go. Wait, hang on.
Next one.
There you go.
So as you see there's going to be a 6-inch emergency trussing bandage, ETD. You've got a pair of high vent chest seals that usually have a 5-year expiration date. You got 2 pair of medical gloves up in the top left, 2 packable 4-yard gauze packs for people to use for packing wounds and address wounds. You got an emergency blanket. You've got a cat tourniquet. It's orange, but that's what it looks like. It's got the trauma shears. You've got the marker to mark your time on the cat tourniquet or ETD. and a little help guide in case a civilian rolls up on a police officer and needs to help them. And then that the bag right there is also what houses all of that stuff with a Velcro backing like this. Adheres to the floor or the ceiling of the cruiser without it moving, so the officer knows where it is at all times, and it doesn't just roll around in their gear.
Right, exactly.
Those kits run about $100 a piece, and we're getting them for about $67 a piece because of a price negotiation we made with North American Rescue. A lot of medical personnel or military personnel will recognize North American Rescue is a very astute, outstanding supplier for medical gear for first responders and for military overseas. To date, our agency, our nonprofit, let me rephrase, our nonprofit has met the needs of 23 police and fire departments. We have 2 fire departments we're looking to assist in July of this year. We've just approved them. And once our funding is secured and locked in from our fundraiser efforts and our grants that we've applied to, our total impact will be $52,750 for those 25 departments, and you include those other 2 that we're at.
I was just about ready to ask you, how do you get the kits? I mean, you're kind of like giving a good wave top of all that, but who are involved? Because, you know, when some people say that, you know, that the community doesn't care, are you getting a lot of the community outreach from this? I mean, are you getting at least some community donations for it?
I will tell you right now, individual donorships down across the board for all charities, especially in first responder communities, because a lot of people have been worried about Ukraine. You see a lot of funding for people with food insecurity right now because the cost of living is so high. So you understand where people's money is going to go where they really need it. They have to decide, hey, do I pick my medicine or my food or my mortgage or my car, let alone am I going to throw money at a charity that I love to support but can't?
Right.
You know, you have to take care of your family. But our corporate donorship has been up. It's been up majorly from donor advised funding from different grants and organization efforts that have been donated to us. Just to shoot off a few names here, we got Ace Hardware. They do a collection can outside their stores around our area. Black Rifle Coffee has always been donating coffee and other items for us to raffle off at our events, and it's always a huge success. We have DJ Hospitality Group. They run Freddy's Frozen Custards and Steak Burgers across our region.
Hell yeah.
They do a roundup campaign for the month of May and October. Duke Energy Foundation gives us a grant every year. Fallen Here Network, you guys have had them on before.
Yep.
They are a big part of our car show. AT&T's FirstNet from Ohio, they're looking to give us a huge grant every year. North American Rescue gives us a huge discount, and they're going to be a sponsor at our car show. Walmart Foundation gives us money. I mean, we get money from many different sources. And as you would say, diversity is good in the charity space, because if something goes down on the wayside, you have that other one to lean on.
Yep.
And I would say it's because of corporate donors and or grant givers that we've been able to continue our mission in spite of lower donorship outside of our car show. So, and then we got our fundraiser golf outing that's going to be funding a big part of it as well.
Oh yeah, I kind of dropped the dime out about that stuff. So I just let you know that on behalf of WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio, we will be sponsoring a hole. We might sponsor 2 holes. You never know, but we're definitely going to sponsor a hole for you guys for that tournament.
We appreciate that. It means a lot.
Yeah, it's well. You, like I said before when we were talking earlier, you literally have been here with us on a lot of from the get. You know, from when you started off to we started broadcasting, you've been kind of in and around our space, I guess you'd say. So it's the least we can do. But I'm gonna tell you what. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the golf tournament, because I know there's some golfers out there. I did say that if you were in the Ohio area, specifically in is it Batavia, right? Is it that Batavia?
If you're in Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, or within close enough proximity, you find it worth the drive, please come out and participate in a golf outing. I mean, the golf outing is going to be June 9th. It's at a really nice Pete Dye course. Pete Dye invented this course. It's like front half is a standard course, and then the back 9 is a links. It's really cool. You can get elevated tees on these par 5s that make you rip it, and it's a gorgeous view. I will tell you one of the things about our outing that makes us special and different is we have some pretty awesome prizes up for grabs. Good old insurance policies pay these big boys out. So I'll give you an example. Let me go up here to event day contests. This all can be found on our website under backtheheroesrumble.com. Just go to our events tab, hold over it, and click on golf outing. And it'll have all the info there. There's a web page just for our golf outing. But some of the prizes up for grabs, we have Heroic Longest Drive that yields a 5-day, 4-night cruise for 2. We have a $10,000 putting competition that occurs before the outing. That's a separate fee you pay for entering and to have a chance to win. The winner of the putting contest will then have a single chance to putt a 50-foot putt in the hole to win $10,000.
Oh, snap.
There are several hole-in-one challenges, including a $10,000 hole-in-one challenge on one of the par 3s. You have a chance to win a Phantom X putter, a Yeti Tundra 75 hard cooler. And then also there is one hole, if you win the closest to the pin, the golfer that wins that will then be taken back to 165 yards from that pin and hit a 165-yard shot for a chance to sink it for $100,000.
Oh, wow.
These are, again, all prizes that are paid for by an insurance policy that are paid for through our sponsors for the prize hole sponsorships. Along with that, there's plaques for top 3 teams. There's going to be beer. There's going to be lunch provided and dinner provided. We're also working on securing a couple celebrities. I know I've already spoken with UFC Hall of Fame fighter Frank Trigg. He's planning on being there as a celebrity golfer. Not this year, but next year we might be able to bring in somebody bigger name. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to tease anybody. But
don't do it. Don't do it. We did that one time, and then we did that one time. We were teasing a name. The next thing you know, it was an expectation. People were like,
right. But I will tell you this: this is a name that everybody would know.
Yeah,
there's no question in the movie world you would know who this guy is.
It's awesome.
But anyway, that's our golf outing. And as you can see, you see our tax ID. We are a 501c3. We've unfortunately not ever raised more than $50,000 in a year. I think we'll crush that this year, simply because we've already got an in-kind donation from Google. They're giving us free advertisement for an entire year at the value of $10K a month.
Nice.
It's not money in our hands, but it's still in-kind donation,
Exactly.
and we have to attribute that. So we're definitely be pulling the long form this year.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's the thing too, is that this is how many tournaments have you done? This will be our
first golf outing.
The first one. But didn't you have? I remember because we were going to schedule one, but because the Rona was the one that killed that killed that first one. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I was in.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we had Corona cause us to cancel, and we refunded some of our sponsors' money, and some of them said just keep it because we understand there's nothing you can do about it.
That's good.
And it sucks when your first one that happens because then people wonder after 2 years, are you ever going to bring it back?
Right.
And so now we're trying to get the ball rolling and be like, yeah, it's back. We're making it happen. All these prizes. I mean, the website looks awesome. I think Perfect Golf Event does a great job putting the website together for you. They have a pretty easy user interface for you to customize it as you want.
Right.
But, interestingly enough, I wanted to make sure everybody understood why we do what we do. And it's not just as simple of, we support our police and fire. No, there's a lot more involved in that. I'm just giving you some interesting statistics, if you will.
Go for it.
So this is since our inception. So that's why I start with 2019. So in 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, I'm combining these statistics. We have lost in the line of duty deaths for law enforcement. We've lost 1,558 police officers. Granted, 885 of those are COVID, but obviously COVID was a big problem for us in 2020.
Right.
Hold on, little guy. So then firefighters, we had 447 people die. And out of them, 149, or about a third of the deaths were COVID related. But then when we're talking about law enforcement,
it's okay, man. Go handle
it. What is it, Theo? What do you want?
What's
What
up?
do you want?
What's up, Dio?
Hey, Andrea, where'd you at, baby? You need to grab a little one. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
So with firefighters right now, 2/3 of them of the deaths are all accounted for from non-COVID deaths. And then with gunshot wounds, we've lost 37% of our non-COVID deaths were from gunshot wounds.
Damn.
Now, a lot of people are like, well, that's what body armor's for. Well, here's an interesting stat that I think is going to be a catch home for everybody. And we both wore body armor in Iraq, right? There were plenty of guys that died with body armor. So I'm going to stop right there. But 83% of all gunshot wound deaths in law enforcement were wearing body armor, but did not have trauma kits. It's an interesting stat. Now, some people might ask me where you get your information. I get my information from Officer Down Memorial page and from the FEMA for the line of duty deaths for firefighters.
Right.
I also got another interesting stat and quote from IAFF, the International Association for Firefighters. They quoted that 74% of all line of duty deaths in firefighters in 2022 was due to cancer. The average age of the firefighter dying of cancer was between 35 and 39 years of age. I'm 35, man.
Yeah.
That's just soul crushing to hear that. And then moreover, 66% of all firefighter deaths since 2002 have been attributed to cancer as the line of duty death cause. So, I bring up the stats because these are real hard facts and reality that we face in the first responder community.
Right.
You're talking about mental health and suicide, and we've got organizations that are tackling that right at the forefront. Save a Warrior, First Responder Bridge. I know Uric. I know he's up there in Columbus working on that organization. We have First Responder Face-Off Foundation. They're trying to tackle that and help with the families of the fallen. But what we're trying to do is go a step beyond that and tackle preventable line of duty deaths. When you get turnout gear, right now there's a 9 to 12 month wait for the firefighter to get new turnout gear. That is unheard of.
That's another thing too, is like I was just talking about earlier that it's pretty fucked up when you have a celebrity like Jon Stewart and you have Tim from Grunt Style talking about issues for veterans. Is there any lobbying? Is there anybody from the Leo fire, organization that does the same thing?
Jon Stewart was there doing it for all of them, especially for those affected by 9/11.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. Case.
Yep. That's right.
He had a huge testimonial about that, and it pushed forward for the burn pit registry. But then there was another. Somebody help me out here if you want to comment in the chat, because I'm drawing a blank on what it was. But there was a legislative bill that was just passed, I think, year before last, because of Jon Stewart's efforts continuously over the last decade. And it's, you got these firefighters that are dying years later from all that exposure from the soot at ground zero in 9/11. Right. And these are the same particulates that firefighters are endured with. It's the most likely cause of death for firefighters is cancer.
Yeah.
Cardiac is the second. And then you got MVA and so on. And then obviously for law enforcement, it's gunshot wound, suicide, and accidents. Accidental deaths from either MVAs, being struck off the side of the road, training accidents. That's the order of sequential of how the numbers shake out.
Right.
But, these hoods are the number one thing that are not being replaced, because Nomex hoods cost around $40 to $50 a pop.
Yeah.
And you can get 2, 3, 4 of them for a firefighter, and they're all universal fit, right? Well, so are the particulate upgraded hoods that I found on 3 different companies that provide them. But the one that we go through with MS Globe, it's $100 a hood. It's not cheap. I mean, think about it. You're looking at 2, 3 hoods for the same price of one hood. So that's one of the big parts, is the cost prohibitive, right? And you've got what they call discretionary budget. And you got a city council that says, hey, we just got approved for you to get a levy. This is going to help with maintaining your building, your training, and your equipment. But what about upgrade cover for your hoods? Everybody wants to make higher pay because cost of living's high. That takes more away from upgrading equipment to give them better coverage for our firefighters. So that's what Back to Heroes Rumble is tackling. And it's a crazy task to think about, well, what's a small organization like yours going to do to make it better in the long run? Because you're always going to have people that are always having a need. Eventually, we're going to take to a point where we're going to be able to help 5, 6, 7 departments at a chunk. And that's going to tackle the needs a lot faster.
Yeah, I got a picture right now highlighting just firefighters on site. And I mean, it's a lot of things that we have. Like, for instance, if we use some of our equipment that has fluids, body fluids, whatever, it's just not good. It's not going to work anymore. It's just not going to, and it'll get trashed, or it'll get washed, try to get refurbished, but sometimes it'll get discarded. Is that normally the same thing what happens with firefighter equipment?
A lot of times they're using it even beyond its wear and use.
God damn,
because they can't afford to replace it, or like I just said, there's a long time in return and replacing it. And here's the other thing too. A lot of people are like, well, why don't they just, when they wash their gear, a lot of people don't understand with firefighters, you got to let that stuff dry.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what happens is it's going to reheat, and that steam's going to cause third-degree flash burns. So you can't just go in there with wet gear. You got to be able to wash it and dry it. And oftentimes you're going on one run, getting there, and secondarily go right back out on another run, especially with the staffing shortage that they have right now.
Right.
So that's why we're looking to provide 2 hoods per firefighter at least. So they have a way to switch that out at least, so that they're not sitting there re-soaking in through their skin those particulates that were once stopped by that hood. 98% of the hood particulates are stopped by the hood, the ones that we're providing.
Right.
Compared to the Nomex only giving 12% protection. So, I mean, this is the real issue. This is a real hard issue what we're facing right now. And some of these firefighters will even go out of their own way and spend their own money on this gear if they can.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And there's just a comment in the chat I was just about ready to say, just like Leos, just like firefighters, that equipment is expensive as hell. I mean, just boots in itself, like he's saying, the boots, the jacket, the helmets, the mat. I mean, have any of those, or how do I say this? Have any of those companies at least try to say, hey, look, we'll give you a discount, or we'll donate some equipment to, or that's just...
There's a supplier that we go through. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, they do whatever they can to give them tax exemptions, figure out a way to bundle the package so they can cut some pricing on some of the items. But a bottom line is there's these distributors, they're cutting their foot off if they give any further discounts, because the company, it says the cost for manufacturing has gone up. You got to think materials cost has gone up. And I know it sounds like a shitty excuse, but the reality is that's what we're facing. We're facing some real hardtack issues here at the home front, and really globe-wide for firefighters. I mean, I know there's some firefighter in the Netherlands who's going through the same thing that we are in the U.S., just with their own distribution.
Right.
So, I mean, the real problem is there's a barrier between funding and allowability, especially for the volunteer aspect of the fire departments, or what you get when you get some of those agencies where they're dual, police and fire. I know there's a police and fire department up here in Amberley Village, just north of Cincinnati, and they have a service entity that operates as a police and a fire department, so they're cross-trained.
Right.
An interesting thing, a lot of departments are trying to merge that way because it diversifies, increases in funding for their organization to operate. And it's hell just trying to get them through FEMA to get their GO grants approved. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tackle the needs that they can't get grants for. And, I think we've done a pretty good job, as small as organizations we have, for 25 departments to get the help they need. One of the departments we're helping this year, they're getting new, what do they call it? Dispatch pagers. Mm-hmm. They're kind of like radios, but they're smaller, compact. They needed 10 more of those. So we're going to be providing them those. And surprisingly, they have the hoods. They actually did something that most departments can't. And they set some funding aside and they got hoods, but because of that, they couldn't get the radios. So we're like, we'll take care of your radios.
That's awesome.
And then there's another department that's got 60 firefighters. We're looking to provide 120 hoods.
And that's another thing too, is that it is, and not to get into politics of this shit, But
Sure.
but anything that had to do with the infrastructure bill, was there any provisions for anything at all for Leos and firefighters?
Not really. There was some funding that was done at to the states to decide how they would spend it,
right,
to help boost recruitment, but not in that bill. It was a separate bill, and it was using money from COVID and reappropriating it.
Gotcha.
And I know Ohio, DeWine's done something where he's released grants to help reimburse some agencies for hires for new police and fire departments. But here's the problem. What you're seeing with this funding issue, right? You got one department that'll go, hey, we're offering a $2,000 bonus to come work for us, and we're going to pay you this rate as a part-time firefighter.
Right.
You take that opportunity. And then suddenly another department next year offers a $3,000 sign-on bonus. What do? Jump over to that department. Now that other department that signed you for a $2,000 bonus is now without a firefighter. They're stealing from each other.
Yeah.
Not with the ill intent, obviously.
Right. Of course. It's competition. It's competitiveness. I mean, you gotta. Well, just like the military, they do it the same way with bonuses in the Marine Corps as versus bonuses. I know somebody, and there was a Marine Corps. I think there was like a comment on the Marine Corps said that you don't need a bonus. Just being a Marine is good enough. That type of shit. So,
yeah.
But I was just curious that if some of that funding from the infrastructure bill, because you brought up a good point, is that you talked about the pagers and you talked about that equipment. So it's almost like the firehouses and the agencies for Leos are robbing Peter to pay Paul of their own equipment. You know what I mean? It's that because you would think part of infrastructure would be, I don't know, communications for those types of emergency services.
And that's the crazy part. You're talking about infrastructure and communication. This agency needs new digital pagers because they actually had their dispatching center for the county and from the state level. They upgraded from a different frequency to a higher frequency level so that you'd be able to communicate to a larger area. And because of that, a lot of their previous equipment that may only be a few years old is now going to become obsolete.
Yeah.
And reprogramming those radios, it's kind of like changing the siding of a house. After you change the siding on one house, you got to change it on all sides.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah, you can't just buy 2 tires and expect not the other 2 tires to not get replaced either. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I get it, man, because it's it fucking sucks, man. It just, I see it, like I said, and you're right. I was, it literally freaking escaped my mind when you talked about John Stewart and his efforts for the 9/11 responders, and what he did as well. But I just wish, because everyone talks about, you shouldn't, you were talking about the militarization of police departments and all that stuff. It's not, everyone thinks it's going to that, but it's not it. It's actually going for them to operate properly, to function. Has it affected their equipment, like their trucks and vehicles and stuff like that as well?
Absolutely. The wear and tear on our vehicles, they're waiting longer to do certain things that they can't afford to do. Some smaller departments are.
Right.
Some of the bigger departments, they prioritize that, but on the back burner, their staff suffers.
Gotcha.
It's feast or famine. You'll have one year where you had all that COVID money and they were using it left and right. And then there was a rainy day fund. Some places were smart and did set money aside for that. But many did not. And you can't sustain that way of financial survivability. So you got to figure out where your cuts are. And unfortunately, the safety of the crew sometimes takes the cut, and that's not okay for us as citizens to hear that.
Right.
And as a charity that's serving those needs, that puts a bigger burden on us. But in the end, we're willing to tackle it as long as we have the support to do it.
Correct. Now, it's not like you can just go out and buy a freaking car or buy you know what I mean? It sucks because those vehicles have to be specifically rated for the use that they're going to be doing. You know what I mean? You get, like, say for instance, you get like it's not like the Ford Explorer that you buy at the Ford dealership. Their Ford Explorers have to be specifically powered, have to be specifically modified, and then their lighting equipment, and then their weapon storage, and then their comms package. That right there is just, I don't even couldn't imagine how much it would cost to do that.
Right. And that's one way we can always tackle that need head on too, is we could actually reach out to whatever agency applies for a grant, if that we approve them, we could sit there and turn around and tell them, hey, we'll approve you. We'll do this, but we would like to see if the city council will match whatever the funding need is for those radios with us so we can double the coverage of those radios for you guys.
So then tell the audience about the grants, the funding. How does that work? What's the process for that?
So the typical process for us, and the biggest reason we have it like this is because of, funding limitations. We don't want to have more applications come in than grant funds available to give out in the form of buying the items. So here's what we do. A lot of times the process starts off the same. The organization reaches out to our website, Back to Heroes Rumble / Operation Open Arms. They submit an application where they have to fill out all the paperwork for their agency, their budget, a invoice, a proposal for items in question if there are anything outside of the kits or the hoods that we talk about, because we know what that price point is.
Gotcha. Right.
And then what happens is we as a board will come together during our board meeting, and I've got a retired firefighter on our board who's going to help us look at the grants for fire departments. I've got a retired law enforcement officer who's also an ambassador for the National Fallen Police Officers Memorial in DC. He's an ambassador for them. He's on our board. And what we do is we have those two gentlemen, as well as our director, Jason Marsh, who's our program director for Operation Open Arms. We'll review those grants, and then they'll look at me and we'll decide where's our funding, where can we devote to that, what can we approve, what can we not approve. And if we have to put a denial out there, what we'll usually do is we'll tell the organization, reapply in 3 months. And the reason why is because there's probably going to be more funding later in the year. But we grant our cycles, say they apply by the end of the year. First quarter, we make a decision by the end of the first quarter, usually in March. And then by the end of the second quarter, so end of June, beginning of July, we fulfill the grant that we approved. And that's what we usually do. We have a two quarter cycle period of approval, then fulfillment. Dogs are going nuts. I don't know why. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Yeah, I don't mess with anybody who's got dogs when it comes to something like that.
We got 5.
Yeah, you got 5. Stop rescuing all those canines, dude. Come on, man.
We ain't gonna have more than 5. I promise you that. Yeah, we got 2 Aussies. We've got a Silver Lab. We've got a German Shepherd Aussie. That was the one you were hearing barking like nuts.
Yeah.
She's one of beef farts. And we have Toy Poodle. That's my wife's little dog.
That's a good question. Do you guys do any type of canine programs as well? Do you guys support that?
So there's a charity in our network because our service footprint is Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky.
Gotcha.
We've been hitting heavily in the tri-state, but we try to reach out as far as we can in the 3-state region. There is a organization that does a great service for canines. As far as equipment goes, we have yet to be able to venture into that realm. But if we did, we'd want to work with an organization that already is established in that entity. Yeah. And there's the Matt Haverkamp Foundation, and they actually support the canine community in the Thin Blue Line. So what they'll do is they'll provide police dogs, trained, certified, and ready to go for the department. And they'll fund that need for that department head on for their trainer to train with one, and they'll have an acquired canine unit. And what I would envision if we actually really start going into that when we have the funding to do so,
right?
I would love to be able to say, hey, in partnership with Matt Haverkamp Foundation, we give this police department who's getting a new canine, we're going to provide you a med kit. That's like $350 to your canine unit. So you guys have a way to treat wounds if this canine was to get hurt in the line of duty. That would be something I would love to do. But again, we have to be able to fund it on a long-term basis. Otherwise, it would be disingenuous for us to pull away from what our initiatives are right now to put into that until we can say financially we can afford to do that.
Yeah.
So right now we don't, but that's definitely an option in the future.
Well, I was just curious because, I mean, the dogs kind of like barked it up, no pun intended, but I was like, oh, wow. I was like, I was just curious because you're doing these programs with Operation Open Arms and you're doing the 2 events to support also with the grants. I mean, it's pretty busy. Again, for the audiences that we just got from Singapore, Hong Kong, and the Philippines, welcome again. Can you explain a little bit what started the Back to Heroes Rumble car show? I mean, we love the car show, and we've been to the car show. So for the newer audiences, tell us about the car show. What started it? What was the epiphany for that one?
In 2019, there was an officer that was killed in our community. He was a sheriff deputy, and I didn't know him personally. None of my family did, in fact, but we knew he was part of our county, so he was part of our community. And when I heard he had a child that he left behind, he had a wife that he left behind, and I also heard through the grapevine he owned a Mustang, we decided, hey, let's put on a car show for his family. And 30 days later, we raised $16,000 at a 500 plus car show at a local school district. And it was such a huge success. My wife and I, we look back and we're like, that was chaos, but it was fun. And we enjoyed it immensely, the impact it was going to make. And we decided we loved it so much we wanted to keep doing it. And being retired military, I just decided I'm going to take my free time and I'm going to dive right in and learn everything I can. We started the charity up that same month. And in May of 2019, we officially were during the 501c3 status. And from that point forward, we put on a car show, starting off with a soldier, Sergeant Coletti from Afghanistan.
Yep.
He's actually from Lancaster, Ohio. He was stationed out at Fort Carson. He was killed as an EOD tech, and his wife received all the proceeds for that show. And it evolved into where we do every year. We alternate between police, fire, and military fallen. So then year 2 was a fallen firefighter. Also during the peak of the pandemic, we still raised thousands for his family. And then we went to 2 fallen officers and raised $7,300 for them. Huge year for us. We had almost 300 show vehicles that year.
Yeah.
And last year, we honored 2 of the fallen 13.
Yep, I remember.
Maybe we didn't forget their names. You know, we got Maxton Soviak from Berlin Heights or Milan, Ohio. And then we have Humberto Sanchez, a corporal from the United States Marine Corps. He's from Logansport, Indiana. I'm surprised I remembered that. And we raised $4,000 for their family. We got hit really bad with storms that day, and we still had a hell of a turnout. It was amazing. Beautiful sight to see.
I remember Mom Amy went out there and did some pictures too, and that was some good stuff.
Oh yeah, we did some pull-ups with the Marines in the rain.
Yeah,
Great.
exactly. Yeah, you guys are getting all hardcore and stuff.
I tried to do pull-ups. I got all the way up here, and I'm like, shit ain't good there. Nope.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm going to participate. I'll participate and watch with the beer. That's
I paid for it the whole next 3 days. I was muscle relaxers and everything just done for the weekend.
But there was a David Cunningham posted a comment, and because as we're talking, I was researching that bill, and he found it for me. So thanks, David. As the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Federal Firefighter Fairness Act, which provided workers' compensation benefits for federal firefighters who develop cancer.
But you know what's funny is that's federally, right?
Yeah, I was about to say. I think that
existing policy for that.
Yeah,
it's already been in there. It's just the red tape was stupid long. Now there's been an investigation on that. The Attorney General is pissed about it, but there were a lot of firefighters dying waiting for their benefits.
Yeah,
well, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's like the same thing with veterans too. You know what I mean? It's just like it's like veterans of firefighter veterans, Leo veterans, and military veterans. I could say we kind of share the same pain when it comes to the bureaucracy and red tape of that shit.
Yeah, all the hate in the world, but when people need us, please, Mr. Chocolate.
Wait, Mr. Chocolate's in the freaking chats too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I hear you.
We're all understanding on multiple fronts that we endure the similar BS. The only thing I will say as an alternate to that is law enforcement, I think, have it especially hard. And let me just say, I'm not downplaying veterans' needs or
of course
firefighters, but think about it for a second. In the military, we go overseas in a sandbox or wherever the fuck we go and serve, right? We come back, we're in peacetime. Yeah, mentally, we may not be always there. We may be revisiting it from PTSD, but we're in peacetime, right? We're not constantly under threat.
Yep.
Imagine law enforcement.
Oh yeah, they're
in their fucking backyard.
Yeah, they're deployed. They're deployed every day. They're under arms every day. They got to keep their head on a swivel every day, especially in the larger cities, man. You're hearing about Leos getting assassinated out in the streets in New York, or sometimes
for lunch.
Yeah,
their family.
Yeah, exactly. So
a lot of times they'll take the tag that they're a law enforcement officer on Facebook, or they don't even have a Facebook page because they don't want people to know. Yeah. I know 2 officers that have their names different on the Facebook to protect their identity.
Right.
Don't blame them.
yeah, exactly. Don't blame it at all because all the drama. I mean, come on, we're on Facebook and we get all the drama too. You can just imagine all the crap that we get. the thing now, we're both talking about the whole process. Now, is there something for Leos that you're going to do for aside from, how you're doing kits, like you can do in the body armor stuff? Are you going to be doing like kits, like holsters and stuff like that? Like battle belts or whatever they need to do to do their function? Because a lot of it, they have to pay for their own stuff as well?
A lot of times they'll get issued what they get issued, and then if it doesn't seem to congeal with what they're doing, if the department gives them clearance, they'll buy gear from like 511 Tactical.
Gotcha.
They'll get different holsters that work best for them, but they have to follow a certain tax stop that's set by their agency.
Gotcha.
Obviously, you can't have your standard issue. There's like a taser over here, and then your standard issue here, or sometimes they'll, you know what I mean? You don't cross draw your standard issue.
Yeah.
Some agencies are different, man. I can't speak personally because I'm not former law enforcement. So if there's somebody here that is an MP or anything like that, they could probably speak a little more onto that. But as far as what we provide, if you go to our website under Open Arms, it'll actually give you a pretty good comprehensive list. For law enforcement, we do trauma kits, radios, body cameras if we can afford to do it, and
Nice.
it's a small agency that needs it, we'll do it.
Nice.
If it's a bigger agency, we'll try to do what they call a match share program, where we'll reach out to them and say, hey, if your community will forego, say you need 12 grand for these body cameras, if they'll give 6, we'll give 6, and we'll pull in together and buy them together for you. Non-lethal tools, and then obviously morale and welfare needs. That is something that a lot of people don't realize is life-saving too, because we talk about the mental health stigma with law enforcement and first responders, and sometimes it's just nice to just provide them a nice meal and some kind of festive downplay for lunch, just to give them a break from the monotony of what they deal with every day in law enforcement. And then with firefighters, we, along with the hoods, radios, extraction equipment, COVID-19 supplies. COVID-19 we did as well with law enforcement, but we kind of gotten away from that a little because the draw is no longer needed.
Yeah.
All types of PPE, and again, morale and welfare needs. So, I mean, those are the things we try to tackle.
Gotcha. So let's talk about this golf tournament, man. I mean, you hang on. Whoa, you guys got swag. Hang on. Let me I miss.
There is one link that's not working, so I apologize about that. The guy got a new website, and I'm working on a new link embed.
No. I clicked on the I clicked on another link, and it took me right to the shirts.
Yes, so we got some really cool, badass hoodies. In fact, I can even showcase you one of them.
Well, yeah, no problem. I'm working on them right now. We got some hoodies. Look at that. You guys want? Who wants a hoodie? These are pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you're good, man. I'm showing them right now.
Okay.
I'm highlighting them right now. Get back over here.
So anyway, yeah, I thought my hoodie was down here. It's upstairs.
Gotcha. No worries. I'm showing the hoodies right now. So look at that, man. Look at that.
And you change different colors on it and everything.
Yeah, dude.
You can have it shipped to you. But basically, and by the way, the company that makes these remarkable designs, that is an Air Force weapons specialist, veteran, and current serving cop that runs that business.
That's pretty cool.
Wife run it.
That is pretty cool.
And they literally make next to nothing off the shirts because they're donating it back to us. So whatever you're paying, that's the cost of the shirt plus a small bit thrown to our cost.
Awesome. Carl, man, bro, thanks so much for coming back on with us, man. This is awesome. Like I said, I made an announcement earlier at the beginning of the show, before you came on, is that we're gonna make a donation. We're gonna sponsor a hole.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem. So if you guys go to the websites that you see in the links right there, you see in the chats. I put them on all the chats, YouTube, the 2 Facebook pages, and on Twitch. If you guys see them on there, you guys can sign up and get a sponsor a hole. This is going to be June 9th, 2023. It says right here at the Batavia, I'm not even going to mess up. Ohio's got some weird names, man. I don't even want to mess up. So it's Batavia, the Elks Run Golf Course in Batavia, Ohio. All proceeds.
Batavia.
Batavia. I'm sorry. Batavia. My bad. Oops. Batavia. All proceeds, of course, from this outing benefits the unmet needs for first responders across the region, and your donations will help support Operation Open Arms. Carl, hey man, thanks again so much for shooting the breeze. Again, you're always welcome to come back, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. I know there's a plan for me to be back on sometime later this month. We're going to talk about our car show.
Yep.
Talk more about the cause that we're targeting to help with tackling cancer epidemic with firefighters. Bottom line is I couldn't do this by myself without the board that there to support us, and we're growing. We're getting into a lot of more of the the taxing gruel work process of running a nonprofit, and they're helping me with that, and that means a lot. But without supporters like WTF Nation Radio giving us a platform, if you will, to let people know we're here and why, and without you guys in Google, people wouldn't know who we are.
Yeah.
So because Facebook has been downcycling us on algorithms since day one.
Same here. Yeah, same with us. It's almost like, I don't want to say that it's like going the way of MySpace, but I think it might be going the way of MySpace. You know what I mean? That's why we're on more platforms, because we just have no choice. I mean, most of the stuff, the engagements on stuff like this would be like Twitter or Instagram. That seems to be where all the cool cats go. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll make sure I get you guys a copy of the golf outing flyer so you guys can post it up for people that want to.
Most definitely. Most definitely. All right, guys. Carl Whalen, back to Heroes Rumble. Thanks again so much. Also, well, you can hang out and shoot the breeze with me. You can sit here and look at me right now if you want. You don't have to leave. You can hang out for a second. I'm just going to do a close up right quick. But you won't see yourself. Does that make sense? You can hear or shoot, because I want to talk to you about something else after the show. So
sure.
Yep. At any rate, so again, thanks again, Carl, for hanging out. All right, so we got a lot of good stuff happening with our guests, man. It's unfreaking real, the guest lineup that we have, and the team has been knocking it out of the park, man. I just can't. I'm so proud of our team knocking this stuff out. We got some heavy hitter guests coming up. First off, we have I just want to make sure I'm looking at all my notes correctly. We have on the 14th tomorrow for Pop Culture Warrior. I guess I'm going to see you anyways there, Carl. Sorry, you can stay on. You can hang out with us. You can watch this. You can watch our notes. We have Sean Kanan. Sean Kanan's coming on. If you guys you might recognize him from the Karate Kid and what's that other one? Cobra Kai. So that he's coming on the 14th with Pop Culture Warrior, and then we have the Pink Berets. They're going to join us too. This is going to be awesome. We'll also have this is going to be March 22nd. The Pink Berets. Stephanie got us. She's going to be on and shooting the breeze with us. An outstanding organization. They cover and they're an advocacy group organization that discusses the military sexual assault trauma and sexual assault in the military. They address that. So Stephanie Gaddis is going to join us from the Pink Berets on the 22nd. And then we got another guest working. Hang on, I'm going to give some sneak peeks. Hang on, let me see what the other guests we have. We have another one who's just been on the new show Outcasts from Netflix. I'm just double checking the names. So she's gonna. Once we get the name down, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I'm being too premature. She's gonna join us for Pop Culture Warrior. I might as well just pull the calendar up and just start seeing what the calendar looks like. Let me see. You have to forgive me because I got to go in a little bit to go to help the little guy. We make sure he's okay. He's not feeling too well. So again, tomorrow we have Sean Kanan, Karate Kid star, and Cobra Kai. This Friday we have. Wait, what am I doing? I keep forgetting. I got to throw up the graphics. You guys can see the graphics and stuff for me already. Let's hang on. Let's see, so you can see my ugly face along with the Monday edition. There you go. There you go. So, you go. So today was the Monday edition, of course, Carl Whalen from Back to Heroes Rumble. Tuesday, of course, Pop Culture Warrior Michael Carrasquillo, also known as CQ, who also has his roving band of guest hosts. And then we have the Smoke Pit with TZ and Radar. The bubble, to keep everybody out of the bubble. I like what's going on with no bubble on the Smoke Pit. Free TZ from the bubble. I'm just kidding. She's not in the bubble, but anyways, Sergeant's time with myself, and I'm still waiting. I'm gonna give it till the end of the month. If a military guest host does not join me, then we'll discuss further options for that for Sergeant's time. And then Friday Night Freedom with Kaz and Pookie. St. Patrick's Day too, so make sure you drink up the Guinness while you're watching that show. I'm definitely gonna watch that. And then of course Saturday's their day off, and then of course right to this way we have the Sports Bar with King Smith and the Coach. So make sure you tune in, share, like, and follow. 8 p.m. Eastern is our showtime start. If we have a guest that will join us at 9 o'clock, and we're on 2 Facebook pages: WTF Moments, WTF Nation Radio. We're on the YouTubes, we're on the Twitch, and we're on the Twitters. Boy, I think that was it. I think we're all good to go. I'm gonna take off, and I'm gonna shoot the shit with Carl for a second. But thank you guys and gals for hanging out. Appreciate you coming on. Again, normally I would take a break and then come back on, but got to deal with the little one and make sure he's good to go. He's probably fallen asleep on the couch already. So if anything else, thank you all for tuning in. And again, thanks again, Carl, for hanging out. So y'all have a good night. Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Sometimes when I look at, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, I think it's WTF Army or something.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Сьогодні ти знову написала, що тобі страшно. І я знову попрошу. Ні, сьогодні я накажу відставити боятись. Погладь за мене Бармалея і спокійно лягай спати. До речі, як там Руся в школі? Скажи тату берегти серце і обійняти маму. І взагалі, давайте усміхатися. В вашій силі краса. Допомагайте один одному і виручайте. Цілуйте любимих. Святкуйте свою свободу. Ви за нашими спинами, ось такі теж надійні, не ховаєтеся, прикриваєте нас із тилу. Зробіть так, щоб ми пишалися вами. І ми повернемось. Повернемось і будемо жити.